Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Trust and Believe. I'm your host, Shaun T, and I appreciate you joining me today. Today, I wanted to bring a little bit of sunshine to your life and talk about how I went on vacation, which I didn't think I was actually going to do at the beginning of the pandemic, during the pandemic. But after some research and seeing how other people traveled safely, my family, meaning me and Scott, and a couple friends decided that we wanted to travel and enjoy a vacation. Now, there's a lot of people out there that's like, you should stay home, stay strong. And I totally get that, and I understand it because I was in that mindset for a very long time during the pandemic. But what I realized is that traveling safely is possible. And I want to talk about some of the things that I learned about myself and some of the things I learned about people as we were, I wouldn't say gallivanting, as we went from point A to point B back to point A. Anyway, there are a lot of times in your life where you have to trust and believe in your mental state. And I'll just say that one of the main reasons we chose to actually go on vacation was for mental health release. And so get ready to trust and believe and go on a really sunshine journey with me.
Somebody saying, oh yeah!
No? What's up? He's better than Oprah. Come on, y'all.
This is Shaun T, and it's time to trust and believe. All right, I'm back on Trust and Believe. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you all for listening to my show. I appreciate it more than you know. I think it's also really, really important for me to express the fact that in no way, shape, or form am I perfect, or any of the guests that I have on my show perfect. Really what this is about, this show is about finding your way through life and learning how to trust and believe through your failures, your successes, your struggles, and whatever the struggle may be, food, fitness, relationships, job. It doesn't really matter what the struggle is. It's your life. It's your struggle. It's what you want to do in terms of being the best that you can be. But we don't always have really great moments. And so I like to come on here and speak to you in a very candid way and what it is that's going on in my life right now. And again, a lot of things you disagree with and some things you don't. But I believe that you learn from me and I learn from you in the feedback. With that said, I just want to tell you guys, and I want to bring some sunshine to your life because we decided to go on a vacation. And I was actually very surprised when Scott said he wanted to go to Mexico and fly, because Scott, when it comes to the pandemic and traveling and stay home, stay strong, everyone, I think, has been on a different kind of journey. Some people were in their homes and they were like, I'm never leaving. And then there were people who were like, I'm going to wear my mask and stay safe, all the way to people that didn't want to wear a mask at all, right? And again, I'm not saying that in terms of judging. I'm just giving you the landscape on the scale on how people want to live their lives during a pandemic. So anyway, when Scott said he wanted to go, I was like, what? But we had some friends travel. We had some friends that traveled a few times. We had a couple friends that traveled once, and we followed their journey, and it made us feel really safe. And listen, everything is a risk, right? No matter what. But we decided as a couple, you know what, this is something we want to do, and we want to do it for our mental health. I actually wanted to take a vacation back in September, but my new project came along with Beachbody, so I was unable to take the vacation at the time that I wanted to take vacation. I know when I'm getting heavily stressed, and the minute I get heavily stressed, I say to Scott, I need a day, I need 2 days, I need a minute, I need an afternoon, I need a massage. And so at the end of August, I actually said to Scott and my team, I said, September, I have to take a few weeks off. And then my project from Beachbody came, so I wasn't able to take those few weeks off. And it actually became more fun, but also very stressful to start a project, develop a project, and shoot a project, at least a small portion of that project in the amount of time that I had. And really release creativity in a moment where you were already tapping into your reserve, which I talk about a lot of times. I recognized a while ago that I needed a vacation. I got to give you this other side note because it'll give you color. So I remember years ago, I was watching TV, and being a huge fan of Mariah Carey, I remember there was a moment where the news had let us know that she had a nervous breakdown, and I think she went into a hospital or some kind of care unit. And I was very stressed for her. I was just like, I never want that to happen to me, because I looked up to her. I still do. But I look up to her. I think she's the greatest singer. Her voice is unreal. And to think that someone who's so successful, has an amazing talent, has, financially stable in her life. At the time, she didn't have kids, but I was just like, wait, how is she breaking down? How is she going through a nervous breakdown? And then as I started to get older and have my own business and have, employees, and being one of those employees myself, you start to realize how people, no matter how successful they are, they have a lot of stress and mental health decline, really, if you want me to be straight up. And so I remember that stuck in me for a long time. And I remember saying to myself, I never want to get to that point. There have been times where I've been in the depths of destruction. I say all that to say, recognizing when you are in a mental health decline is extremely important. I love listening to podcasts, and they talk about different mental health strategies and resources that you can have to help you not go to a place that Mariah Carey went to that time, or places that I've been, which I don't want you to have. So anyway, that was a big decision in why we decided to travel and why I was like, yes, I absolutely want to do this. Anyway, cut to. Let's get to the fun. So I want to say, a lot of you know I suffer from anxiety. I was extremely anxious going to the airport. I was extremely anxious the night before as I was packing my clothes because, one, you see on the media that people are like fighting on the jet bridge because somebody wants to wear a mask or they're not socially distancing and all this stuff. And I had all this anxiety because I take on people's energy. And I had to calm myself down that morning. I was like, calm down. I just got up early and I said, you have to calm yourself down. But I still was very anxious going to the airport. But the minute we parked and we arrived in the airport, and the TSA people were really nice, everyone had a mask on. I have Clear, so even the Clear people, like, they touched everything for you. You could only use your eyes as for the check-in. If you don't know what Clear is, check it out. It's a great way to travel in the airport without having to deal with the crazy lines at TSA. Even just going through the TSA was easy. It was completely contactless. You didn't have to touch anyone. For me, because I have Clear, I didn't have to pull out my license. Like, everything was there. And obviously we had our mask on, and they asked you to dip your mask down just a second when you pass through the TSA security person that checks your license. Even though I didn't have to have my license checked, they just want to see your face. So anyway, I went through. The airport was, I would say, where we were, maybe 12% full. They had plexiglass everywhere. You could still shop. It was a very simple process. Waiting at the gate was fine. When we were boarding the plane, usually they say it's time for boarding and everyone rushes in there, and it's just like crazy kind of cattle. It's like cattle trying to go through one little lane. Didn't have that. Got on the plane, they gave you a plastic baggie we had wipes, we had water, and a little cookie. And they made an announcement that they wouldn't be serving drinks and stuff in economy class. We did fly first class. We got in our seats, we cleaned our seats, we kept our mask on. We had an amazing flight attendant, kept her mask on, even serving us drinks. It was fine. Everyone was peaceful and kind. We got out the airplane, and got into the airport in Mexico, pretty much socially distanced. They made sure it moved really fast. They had plexiglass. You handed it was complete contactless. It was incredible. And I never felt like people were crowding me, which I think was kind of the biggest stressor, the 6 feet social distance thing. We got in a car. We did get a driver because we didn't want to rent a car there. But we did have a driver and kept his mask on. We kept our masks on. He played music. We danced. We traveled. It was cool. Got to the hotel. Check-in was pretty simple. They didn't have a plexiglass at check-in, but they did have masks on. The entire staff at this resort had their masks on, which I thought was, and they kept them on the entire time. And, we check into our room. Everything was really fine and really great. But I was also kind of nervous on how was it going to be at the pool? How are we going to be outside, with people? And are people going to keep their distance? And how are they going to set up the pool chairs and, all that stuff? And we get upstairs. The entire staff has masks on. They have your tables and your chairs set up so that you're not near anyone. People in the pool, you can tell who was together. It just was really great to see humans socializing and kind of just respecting one another. I think that's where I'm getting at with just the experience up until that point. There was so much respect and people just like monitoring where they were. We did run into a couple things where people wanted to get on the elevator and not have their mask on in the elevator. And so I kindly stepped out. I said, y'all can go. And here's the thing. A lot of people think it's like you wear a mask to X, Y, and Z. But for me, I'm a healthy person and I don't want COVID. I still don't want it. I know. And I have a really great friend, Shaun Stevenson, that talks a lot about, our bodies are equipped to fighting viruses and it helps our immune system. And I have kids and I get it. I don't like being sick. So I take my vitamins, I drink the things I need to drink, I work out, I eat the foods I need to eat because I don't want it. I don't care. I don't want to get sick. It's not something that I'm like trying to achieve, nor do I want to get you sick. So the elevator thing to me was like, even when I went to the bathroom, and I was walking in the stairwell, I said, listen, let me put on my mask. And I was fine with that. I actually didn't judge people that didn't wear masks. I just said, okay, well then we don't need to kick it like that. But it was fine. And again, for me, taking a less aggressive approach is always the best. And I see people look at me, I'm like, you cool? Like, it's cool. You don't want to wear your mask. And then I worked out in the gym. And the gym in Mexico, they didn't have a mask policy. You didn't have to wear a mask. And I thought it was cool. So also I was running on a treadmill. The closest person to me on a treadmill was like 3 treadmills away. No one was working out next to me the entire time, except for there was one point where Chip and Elliot were doing a workout next to me. But I would keep my mask on if I was like near anyone or if I was lifting weights and someone was lifting. I think the thing is just taking those necessary protocols to protect yourself and help to protect others. And I was really impressed by the amount of respect that people just have for each other. You see on the news or the media, it's just always like so like choking and divisive and stuff. And I just saw really kind humanity. Especially the people who worked at the resort. They were so appreciative that people were traveling and coming to the resort and helping their town make money, which in turn obviously helps their family make money. And it was really spectacular. There was one night where we went out in a taxi and we went to a dinner on the beach that was incredible. Again, everybody in the town had their masks on and it was fine. It was really great. The reason why I'm walking you through this is because I know that there are a lot of people that have different family situations, family values. Some, for the first part of the pandemic, we were with Scott's parents the entire time. There's no way we would have traveled because they're upper 70s. Scott's mom had lung surgery. So we were extremely strict because for us, it's like we are really about protecting other people. But they weren't with us. And we were like, we're going to come back. We're going to get a COVID test. We're going to make sure, obviously, our boys are fine and our babysitters. You know, when they came back, we required them to get a COVID test. And so I know that people are on different parts of the spectrum. But I think, like what I just said, one of my favorite things was the amount of respect that people had for each other when they were traveling. There was only one time where we were in a pool and I was on the, minding my little business, and I could always tell when there's someone that knows their boy Shaun T or they've done my workouts or whatever, because they look and this group of people were like so excited, and these people did come over to us, and I was in the pool. I took the little picture. I held my breath because I was like, and I know y'all might think I'm being silly, but I'm like, listen, I'll take a picture with you. You're super cool. Like, thanks, but we don't need to have this long conversation here and here. But we had a really great time. We had a great interaction with them, and it was fine. Anyway, we went back home. We came back to Arizona. As soon as we landed, same thing. Flight was the same way. Really great. I will say this. I am a fan of American Airlines. I've been flying with them since 2003. But I do know that the plane was full and they don't leave out the middle seat. But there have also been, and you can take this, whatever, I believe in science, but there's also been some research that say flying on a plane is safe because of their circulation system in the airplane. So that's the only thing. I'd be like, American, maybe you keep those middle seats fine. But some people don't care. They flew anyway. We got back. We immediately looked to see where we can get our first COVID test, just to kind of like make sure. And we got a COVID test from the car, swabbed deep in our nose. We didn't go all the way to the brain. And we got our COVID test back within 3 hours. And it was negative. And we spent one more night in a hotel, and we came home the next day. That's just a story of my travels. I would say that you really can travel safely. I've actually seen my friend Danielle travel to see her daughter in Florida, and she lives in Nevada. And I've had people come to the Transformation Center. They did get a COVID test before they came, but for development. And I just say, just be smart. Just be really smart with the people who you're around. I think what was one of the things that we really tried to avoid was being inside with a lot of people within a certain amount of feet. All the dinner, we went to dinner outside. We were inside twice and outside the other times, anytime we went to dinner. When we got back here, we were at a hotel that had like an indoor-outdoor thing, and we sat outside. And we kept our masks on until we started eating. And listen, I'm not saying that you should go on vacation and you should do this. I'm just saying, if you have to see a family member that's been quarantined, if you feel like your mental health is under attack because you're just so confined, check the CDC. I believe in the CDC. I believe in what they say. I believe in science. I have a degree in science. I know it works. Like, your body and the way you eat and the way you work out and everything. And my career has been based purely on science. So I believe in science. I just say, with that, you have to also be very smart and careful in what it is that you choose to wear over your face, how you choose to interact with people, and how you choose to believe whether or not people are quarantined or not, and just trust the people around you. I wouldn't say this is the time where you are with people and you get lit and you turning up the bottle and sharing a bottle. Or if you smoke weed, if you're doing a puff give, maybe this isn't the time to do that. But I believe that if you're safe and if you're smart and if you lead with care and science, you really, really, really should be fine. That's my little, I enjoyed the sunshine. I enjoyed having my Speedos and my bathing suits and taking those scantily clad photos. If you want to know, just go to my Instagram. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. I had a really great time. I feel safer traveling now. I was driving back and forth to LA for 6 hours because I didn't want to get on a plane. But now I realize that it is safe and it's extremely clean. It's all contactless. So anyway, I say that to say, be careful. care for others, be smart, and believe in science, people. Like, but you know, we've all caught colds before, we've all caught flus before, so we know that science is real. So just be very careful when you're out there if you decide to go on a trip, and always trust and believe in who you are.